Welcome, gents. True power isn't about control. It's about mastery over yourself. Being a Sigma isn't just a label. It's a way of life that's as misunderstood as it is powerful. Sigmas don't walk the beaten path. They carve their own. Their unique traits, often overlooked or underestimated, have the power to unsettle people, not because they're bad, but because they're different. And let's be real, what people don't understand, they often fear. This video isn't about glorifying the Sigma way. It's about uncovering the truth of what makes you stand out. These traits aren't flaws, they're your edge. While others might see them as intimidating or strange, they're your superpower. So, if you've ever felt like you don't fit into the crowd or that your silence speaks louder than noise, this is for you. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your Sigma traits aren't just scary to others, they're your ultimate strength. Stick around, and let's break down the overlooked qualities that make you who you are. Number 1. They can be brutally honest without being rude. Brutal honesty is a rare skill, but Sigmas have turned it into an art form. They say what needs to be said, not to hurt or humiliate, but to cut through the fog of denial with precision and clarity. It's not about being blunt for the sake of it. It's about being clear, direct, and unshakably honest in a way that hits like a quiet storm. What makes their honesty so unsettling is the balance they strike. They don't lash out or sugarcoat, and that's what leaves people speechless. A Sigma won't call you out with loud accusations or dramatic flair. They'll simply hold up a mirror and let you see the truth for yourself. And here's the kicker. They do it without malice. Their honesty isn't about tearing you down, it's about clearing the air, even if it leaves you uncomfortable. This terrifies people who live in denial. When someone has built their reality on half-truths or convenient lies, a Sigma's words can feel like a spotlight on everything they've tried to ignore. They expose the cracks in the foundation without needing to raise their voice. That kind of honesty forces people to confront themselves, and not everyone is ready for that. What's even more remarkable is how Sigmas keep their calm. They're not looking to argue or prove a point. They're just delivering the truth like a fact that can't be disputed. It's surgical, almost clinical, and it leaves no room for deflection. People aren't scared of the Sigma's words, they're scared of what those words reveal. It's this ability to strip away illusions without hostility that makes their honesty so powerful and so feared. You can't fight it, and you definitely can't forget it. Number 2, they read people like open books, even when you think you're closed off. Sigmas have a way of looking at people that feels like they're seeing past every layer you've ever tried to build. You might think you're keeping things hidden, playing your cards close to your chest, but to a Sigma, it's all there. Your tells, your hesitations, even the things you don't realize you're giving away. They don't need you to explain yourself because your actions, your tone, and even the smallest shift in your expression do it for you. What sets them apart is their ability to connect dots that others don't even notice. A glance that lasts too long, a word choice that feels out of place, or a habit you thought was unnoticeable, they catch it all. Sigmas don't just observe people, they study them, often without meaning to. It's not about judgment, it's about understanding the truth behind the mask. This makes them feel almost impossible to fool. When you try to deflect or hide something, they can sense it before you even finish your sentence. They're not reading your mind. They're just impossibly good at reading patterns and inconsistencies. The moment you contradict yourself, even subtly, they've already clocked it. What's unnerving is how effortlessly they do it. They don't make it obvious or confrontational, but you can feel their awareness. It's like they're holding up a flashlight in a dark room you didn't know they could see. And while they may not say what they've picked up on, you know they've noticed. This ability to see through people makes them hard to lie to and even harder to manipulate. It's not just unsettling, it's intimidating. Because when you're around a Sigma, it feels like your next move has already been figured out before you've even made it. At number 3, they don't fight battles that aren't worth winning. Sigmas are masters of knowing when to act and, more importantly, when not to. They don't waste their energy on arguments that lead nowhere or battles that have no real payoff. While others get caught up in petty disputes, defending their pride or trying to prove they're right, a Sigma simply steps aside. To some, this looks like weakness, but it's actually their greatest strength. They understand that not every battle is worth fighting. Winning a pointless argument might feel good in the moment, but to a Sigma, it's just wasted effort. Their focus is always on the bigger picture, what truly matters in the long run. If the conflict doesn't serve a purpose, they're not interested. And this refusal to engage frustrates people who thrive on drama or use conflict to seek validation. Sigmas simply won't play the game, and that drives others crazy. What's even more unsettling is how calm they remain while others are losing their cool. They don't feel the need to defend themselves or prove their worth because they're secure enough not to care. When someone tries to bait them into a fight, a Sigma will either walk away or dismantle the situation with a single, cutting remark that ends it right there. Their ability to stay above the noise makes them unpredictable and intimidating. You can't drag them into your mess, and you certainly can't rattle them. To a Sigma, real power lies in choosing their battles wisely, and this focus on what truly matters gives them an edge that others can't compete with. They're not afraid of confrontation. They're just too smart to waste it on things that don't matter. And that's what makes their approach so powerful and, frankly, so scary. Gentlemen, thank you for being part of this amazing community. You are valued. Now at number 4, their vision goes beyond the horizon. Sigmas operate on a completely different wavelength when it comes to thinking about the future. While most people are consumed by what's directly in front of them, quick wins, immediate results, or short-term gains, Sigmas are already 10 steps ahead, quietly planning for outcomes others can't even see yet. Their vision doesn't stop at what's obvious. It stretches far beyond the horizon, into possibilities most wouldn't even consider. This long-term thinking isn't just rare, it's intimidating. People who live in the moment or chase instant gratification struggle to understand how Sigmas can remain so calm, so focused, even when things seem uncertain. It's not that they're ignoring the present, it's that they're building something that lasts. Their patience isn't passive, it's deliberate. They know that true success, real change, and lasting impact take time, and they're willing to wait for it while everyone else scrambles for quick fixes. What unnerves people is that Sigmas never advertise their plans. They don't seek applause or approval for their vision, and they don't waste energy explaining themselves to those who can't see the bigger picture. To many, this silence feels mysterious, even unsettling, because it's hard to predict someone who's playing a completely different game. Sigma's ability to think years ahead also means they're rarely caught off guard. While others are reacting to today's problems, Sigmas have already accounted for them in their strategy. This foresight makes them seem almost untouchable, as if they're always prepared for what's next. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. Sigmas see life as a marathon, not a sprint, and that's what makes them so formidable. They're not just planning for the next step, they're building the entire road, and that terrifies people stuck staring at their feet. Number 5, they anticipate deception before it happens. Sigmas have an almost eerie ability to see deception coming before it even begins. They don't just rely on what people say, they focus on patterns, inconsistencies, and motives. Their intuitive grasp of human nature allows them to predict when someone is about to twist the truth, often before the person even realizes they're doing it. It's not mind reading, it's understanding the subtle signals that most people overlook. What's unsettling about this ability is how effortless it seems. Sigmas don't need dramatic evidence or long investigations to figure out when someone isn't being straight with them. A slight hesitation, a shift in tone, or a mismatch between words and actions is all they need to piece things together. Liars often find themselves feeling strangely exposed around a Sigma, as if their usual tricks don't work. And the truth is, they don't. Manipulators in particular struggle to deal with Sigmas. Their usual tactics, gaslighting, playing the victim, or exploiting emotions, fall flat because Sigmas see through the act immediately. They anticipate the moves manipulators are likely to make and sidestep the traps before they're even set. This not only frustrates the manipulator, but also leaves them feeling powerless. What's even more unnerving is that Sigmas rarely call out deception directly. Instead, they let the person unravel themselves by staying calm and detached. They create an environment where liars and manipulators can't keep their stories straight. It's a quiet, psychological checkmate that leaves the other person scrambling. This ability to anticipate deception isn't just a skill, it's a shield. Sigmas protect themselves from betrayal by staying 2 steps ahead, and it's this foresight that makes them so intimidating. You can't manipulate someone who's already seen through your entire playbook. Number 6, they don't just think outside the box, they destroy it. Sigmas don't just reject the box, they obliterate it. The idea of thinking outside the box is still too confined for them because it assumes there's a box to begin with. To a Sigma, boundaries and conventions are obstacles, not frameworks. Instead of working within them or slightly pushing their limits, they dismantle them completely, tossing aside what doesn't serve a higher purpose. This level of unrestrained creativity is as intimidating as it is inspiring, especially to those who find comfort in rules and conformity. What sets Sigmas apart is their refusal to accept "this is how it's done" as a valid answer. If the process is inefficient, they'll redesign it. If the rules are outdated, they'll ignore them. They don't aim to improve existing systems, they aim to revolutionize them. This kind of thinking can make others deeply uncomfortable, especially those who rely on the safety of the familiar. To them, Sigmas appear reckless, even dangerous, but to a Sigma, staying confined by conventional methods is far riskier. Sigmas approach challenges with a mindset that blends logic with fearless imagination. They're not afraid to ask the questions that others shy away from or to propose solutions that seem radical. What's unnerving is that their unconventional ideas often work. While others struggle to adapt to new methods, Sigmas are already several steps ahead, paving new paths that others will eventually follow. This relentless pursuit of originality creates tension for those who thrive on predictability. Sigmas aren't here to follow the rules or even bend them slightly. They're here to change the game entirely. And for anyone who's clinging to the comfort of the old way, that kind of unrestrained innovation is more than intimidating. It's downright terrifying. Number 7, a sixth sense for manipulation that others deny exists. Sigmas have a sixth sense for manipulation that most people refuse to acknowledge. They don't need grand gestures or obvious signs. Subtle cues are enough for them to spot deceit and ulterior motives. This innate ability to see through the facades others build is unsettling because it often feels supernatural in its precision. While others may brush off suspicious behavior as coincidence or doubt their instincts, a Sigma knows better. Their keen awareness of human psychology allows them to detect lies and manipulation long before others even catch on. It's not just about what's said, it's about the way someone says it, the timing, the shifts in behavior, and the hidden motivations that lie beneath the surface. Manipulators may try to smooth talk, charm, or gaslight, but Sigmas aren't easily fooled. They pick up on the inconsistencies, the half-truths, and the subtle power plays that go unnoticed by most. What's terrifying to others is how effortless this ability seems. Sigmas don't make a big deal out of calling out manipulation. They do it quietly, with confidence and certainty. For those who thrive on control through deception, this can be deeply unnerving. Their entire game is exposed, and they're left scrambling for new tactics, unable to predict or outmaneuver a Sigma's intuition. This heightened sense of detecting manipulation makes Sigmas a formidable force in relationships, business, and social interactions. They don't rely on evidence alone. They trust their gut, and more often than not, it doesn't steer them wrong. For those who build false narratives to gain power, a Sigma is a walking, breathing counter to their tactics. A reminder that manipulation has no place when met with such sharp insight. Number 8. The confidence to let relationships fade naturally. Sigmas possess a rare confidence when it comes to relationships, one that allows them to let connections fade naturally. Unlike those who desperately cling to friendships or partnerships out of fear of losing something, Sigmas understand that not every relationship is meant to last forever. Their detachment isn't cold or indifferent. Rather, it stems from emotional intelligence, and the understanding that growth often requires letting go. For Sigmas, relationships are seen as journeys, not obligations. They value deep, meaningful connections, but they also recognize when a bond no longer serves its purpose or contributes positively to their personal development. Holding on to something simply out of fear of abandonment or discomfort is foreign to them. Instead, they embrace the idea that change and transitions are natural parts of life. This ability to gracefully allow relationships to evolve creates discomfort for those who seek stability and constant reassurance. People who rely on security through close ties often struggle when faced with a Sigma's willingness to step back and reassess a connection without guilt or regret. For Sigmas, letting go is not a sign of weakness but a necessary step toward becoming the best version of themselves. Their emotional resilience allows them to move forward without bitterness or attachment to the past. They understand that holding on to relationships too tightly can hinder personal growth. And sometimes, the healthiest choice is to release connections that no longer align with their goals and values. Number 9. They question everything, even the unquestionable. Sigmas have an inherent need to question the world around them, and they don't stop where most people draw the line. Authority, tradition, societal norms, even their own beliefs are fair game for scrutiny. They aren't being rebellious for the sake of rebellion. They're searching for truth, clarity, and understanding. This constant questioning unsettles people who build their identity around unquestioned structures or blindly accepted norms. For Sigmas, it's not enough to be told. That's just how it is. They want to know why. They dig deeper, peeling back the layers of rules, traditions, and beliefs that others accept without a second thought. To them, blindly following is a form of surrender, and that's something they refuse to do. If they find flaws in a system, they won't hesitate to call it out or walk away from it entirely. This relentless questioning doesn't stop at external systems. Sigmas turn their sharp gaze inward, analyzing their own assumptions, biases, and motivations. They're not afraid to dismantle their own beliefs if they find them lacking. This level of self-awareness makes them resilient, but it also makes them unpredictable. You can't control someone who's willing to tear down even their own worldview in pursuit of the truth. For those who rely on societal frameworks to define themselves, Sigmas are unsettling. Their refusal to conform threatens the illusion of stability and exposes the cracks in systems most people prefer not to see. Sigmas don't do it to provoke or disrupt. They do it because they believe that progress, growth, and authenticity start with asking the hard questions. Their unshakable need to challenge the unquestionable makes them powerful, but it also makes them a source of discomfort for anyone who clings too tightly to the status quo. Number 10. Their emotional immunity is unsettling. Sigmas have an extraordinary ability to remain emotionally grounded, even in situations that would unnerve or overwhelm most people. They don't get swept up in drama, panic in chaos, or overreact when faced with emotional pressure. This calm detachment isn't indifference. It's a level of control and self-awareness that feels almost unshakable. To those who thrive on stirring up emotional turmoil, this kind of immunity is deeply unsettling because it strips them of the power they're used to wielding. Sigmas don't allow external situations or people to dictate their inner state. They've learned to process their emotions internally, without projecting them outward or seeking validation through dramatic reactions. Manipulators in particular find this unnerving. When their usual tactics, guilt, anger, flattery, or fear, fail to provoke a response, they're left powerless. A Sigma's calm presence acts like a mirror, reflecting the futility of emotional games. This composure often makes others feel exposed. Many people rely on emotional responses to gauge control or influence in a situation. When a Sigma doesn't react as expected, it creates uncertainty and unease. They simply refuse to be a puppet to anyone else's emotional strings, which can be intimidating to those who thrive on chaos and conflict. What sets Sigmas apart isn't just their lack of reaction. It's their ability to maintain this emotional balance no matter the stakes. They don't suppress their feelings, they manage them with precision. This quiet strength makes them almost impervious to emotional manipulation. leaving others unsure of how to engage or influence them. For those used to exploiting emotional volatility, this unshakable calm is not just unsettling, it's terrifying. In conclusion, being a Sigma male isn't about fitting into anyone else's mold or chasing recognition. It's about owning who you are without apology. The traits that set you apart, like your ability to see through people, question everything, and remain calm under pressure, aren't flaws. They're your strengths. Yes, they intimidate others, but that's because you represent something they can't quite grasp. A person who refuses to be controlled by fear, manipulation, or societal expectations. Your ability to stay true to yourself, even when it's uncomfortable, is what makes you a Sigma. It's what gives you the edge to rise above the noise and focus on what really matters. While others might see your independence as detachment or your honesty as intimidating, the truth is, these are the traits that make you resilient, grounded, and impossible to break. So, keep pushing boundaries, keep questioning the rules, and most importantly, keep being unapologetically you. The world isn't always kind to those who walk their own path, but it desperately needs people like you, people who challenge the status quo and aren't afraid to stand alone if it means standing for something real. Let the discomfort you create in others be a reminder that you're on the right track. Growth doesn't come from blending in. It comes from daring to stand out. And if you ever doubt yourself, remember this: being misunderstood by others is a small price to pay for being completely aligned with who you are. So take pride in your Sigma traits. They might scare others, but they're exactly what make you unstoppable. And if you felt this resonate, keep exploring what it truly means to embrace your Sigma identity. Because the journey isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving on your own terms. See you in our next video. God bless you.